Ups. The 2025-26 NBA season is beginning today, and I'm kind of excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. But I'm nervous, but I'm excited. There's always some new variable. There's always some team that's going to surprise you, team that's going to disappoint you, and the Pistons are starting off a little rocky. If I'm honest, if you've seen the past videos, kind of know how I feel about how things are looking so far. They're going to be Cade heavy. They're going to be relying on veterans who I don't know if they're ready, relying on young guys like Duran to step up, who we hope is ready. And we have a culture, we have a coach, we have an identity that's carried us far already. So I want to dive into all that in this video. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Remember, it's a little thing for y'all, big thing for me in this channel. I really appreciate all of your love and support. I'm also happy to be going live. It's been a stressful morning for your boy, but I'm getting on no matter what because I actually really enjoy doing these. I don't do it for the money and the fame and all that stuff. I do it to interact with y'all, um, talk my stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Start my day off good. So let's just peep it like this. The NBA season is here. It's here. No more talk about what could be. No more talk about what might be. No more like, well, maybe it's here. It's put up or shut up time. It's game time. Go time. Right? We got the Rockets versus, I want to say, OKC. And then the Lakers against somebody, Warriors or something like that. Who knows? But now we get to take all the conjecture of all summer and off season, the draft, the preseason, training camp, injuries, potential lineup changes, adjustments, everything we think now gets put to the test, right? We might be excited about Dennis Jenkins and saying, hey, you know what? I think he's going to be big time for us. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't touch the court for the first month. At the same time, we might see Dennis Jenkins start on opening night. Right? So, like, a lot of what we're thinking, a lot of what we are projecting about this season, now the rubber hits the road. Right? This is it. We get to see it all play out. And this is kind of like my favorite time of the year because it's also where you get a chance to see if you've been correct. If I'm honest with you, like, we can project everything we want about Asar Thompson. Look, I deep dive on these guys all day, right? From Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart now playing more alongside of Jalen Durham. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Shooting more threes, and Bobby Clipman's movement shooting, potential Cam Johnson type of a fit. You got Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert, what they're going to look like on this roster. You still got a guy like Malik Beasley unsigned, potentially have an opportunity to play. Who knows? Cade Cunningham looks like a superstar. All those things is this mixed bag, but we get a chance to find out tomorrow against the Chicago Bulls. Are the Pistons ready? I don't know. If I'm honest with you. I'm going to give you some ideas of where I think that they're at in a little bit. But I don't know. I really don't know the conversations that are being had in those coaching offices. I remember I used to coach. I used to coach for years. And when I was doing a little college coaching, me and the coaches would sit back in the office and we would deliberate for hours about guys, what we thought. And even then, the head coach kind of kept his cards to himself, what he really thought about some of the guys, based upon 25 plus years of experience coaching at the college level that he had, right? He was the most winningest coach in community college history for the state of California, right? Coach Percy Carr, God rest his soul. And he knew a lot, and he had to figure out a lot. There was a lot of variables he was looking at. If I play this guy alongside this guy based upon what he's been dealing with, what I know he's got going on at home, what he's got going on in his life, how he's doing in class, he's going right, like all these other things that we don't even think about on the outside, right? Like JB Bickerstaff understands their family situations. JB Bickerstaff understands how guys are showing up, not just based upon this training camp, but how they've shown up in the past training camps. JB Bickerstaff knows the difference between Karis LeVert today versus Karis LeVert a few years ago when he was in Cleveland, right? How much can I expect from him? He knows his injury history. He's thinking about things that we're not even thinking about. So, what we see on opening night is going to be a culmination of the things that we do see and how we project how it's going to look, and a lot of things that we don't see at all, right? I know Marcus Sasser says, he has some hip discomfort, and that's why he was out for the majority of the preseason. JB Bickerstaff and his staff know the difference between his hip discomfort and a potential strain or injury that they just don't want to talk about. Or if they already know what they got in him and they're like, hey, you know what? You're good. We've seen enough. We're going to explore some other things considering that Jaden Ivey might be out. And we need the minutes to do so, right? These are all things that we are going to find out on day one. Now, what does it mean for the Detroit Pistons' outlook for this season? I think that based upon what we see opening night is going to tell us a lot about what JB Bickerstaff really thinks about his roster, what Trajan Langdon really sees in the roster itself. If they're going 7 deep, 8 deep early, it's going to tell you that Jaden Ivey was a much bigger piece of this. And potentially, some guys have not stepped forward to be ready to contribute as much as we might like to think. Look, we know the starting lineup, more than likely, it's going to be Cade, Duncan Robinson, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren. Off that bench, more than likely, we're going to see Isaiah Stewart for sure. You're probably going to see Karis LeVert. Probably going to see Ron Holland. After that, it gets shaky. We don't know where Marcus Sasser is at injury-wise. We don't know if Paul Reed is really ready to be featured and if they can maintain enough spacing. We don't know if Chaz Lanier is ready to contribute. We don't even know if Dennis Jenkins is NBA ready. Remember, I keep saying it's a huge jump going from the G League to an active roster to an active role for a winning team, let alone even a losing team, right? That is a major adjustment. We're going to find out a lot on opening night. If Ron Holland gets 8 minutes versus 15 minutes, how do those minutes look? How does Karis LeVert's minutes look? How does Isaiah Stewart look playing alongside Jalen Duren again? Remember, that was something that they did a couple years ago with Monty Williams. I told y'all, some of y'all don't like to listen to me. I get it. I get it. Don't just believe the first thing you hear somebody say, right? I get it. But I was telling y'all that Isaiah Stewart can play alongside of Jalen Duren. He has the shooting ability. They needed to continue to work that last season. I thought it was a missed opportunity. In fact, I thought it was a missed opportunity to not have Jalen Duren shooting jump shots the entire time of his rookie deal. He should have been shooting that corner three like he started off doing at the end of his rookie year, that following year with Monty Williams. Okay, we missed it. Isaiah Stewart playing alongside Jalen Duren should have also been utilized more last year. Okay, so there's a lot of missed opportunities. Now we're seeing there's a need. We need Isaiah Stewart's defense. We need his toughness and physicality, because I keep saying that's something that Jalen Duren misses despite how big and strong he looks. He doesn't play with that level of physicality yet. So we need somebody to reinforce that physicality out there. Now, it will be interesting to see Isaiah Stewart at the 4 or 5, wherever you want to put him, alongside of Duren, and seeing how the spacing works. Because I don't think we've ever seen Isaiah Stewart as a volume three-point shooter. There's a big difference between, hey, I take 1 to 2 threes a game versus I take 3 to 5. That's a big difference, especially for somebody like Isaiah Stewart, who's only getting up generally about maybe 4 to 6 shots a game, right? A game. So if that's all he's putting up in the first place, right? What does it look like for Isaiah Stewart where that's the majority of your shots? Where you're taking more shots from three than you are from two. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Isaiah Stewart's going to mix it up because he's just that type of player. He's going to seal you on the inside when he has a mismatch. He's going to clean the offensive glass and score on the inside. He's going to every once in a while on a straight line drive opportunity, pump fake you and give you a little, strong right to the rim. And then when you try to cut him off, put it behind his back. You know that little move he tries to do, and then finish on the other side of the rim. He's going to give you that, right? So he's going to get those shots at the rim. There may be We might see Isaiah Stewart featured offensively more than I think we've maybe ever seen him featured. And it's not going to be because like we're writing up plays for him, but because he's going to fit as a finisher for this team in a lot of ways. Whether it's the kick out guy, uh, knocking down an open three from the perimeter, whether it's going to be attacking a mismatch, which he's going to have a lot, whether it's going to be getting a dump off, pick and roll, right? Like he's going to be a guy that just fits because the best interior defender is going to be on Duran. The best perimeter defender is going to be on Cade. And then the other guy is going to be chasing around Duncan Robinson or Karis LeVert. So your worst couple of defenders are going to be on either Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart. Actually, if I'm honest with you, I don't think we see too much Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, and Duran, all three. I think it just gets a little bit murky. But I think that we still see Isaiah Stewart filling in the gap in a major way throughout this roster. I think he plays a significant role, whether he's getting like 18 to 22, 24 minutes a game. I think he will be our sixth man. He'll be the first big off the bench behind Tobias Harris, Jalen Duran, maybe even Asar Thompson. Maybe even Asar Thompson. You move Tobias to the three because he can space the floor and he can guard a few threes depending upon matchups. I think JB Bickerstaff leans heavily on his veterans, which he's shown in the past that he's more prone to do. And so it'll be interesting to see it all play out. Now, where do I think that this team sits today? If I'm honest with you, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. Um, I think the team is still kind of reeling from Jaden Ivey being out. And when I say reeling, I don't mean like disoriented, like they don't know what to do. I think reeling in terms of like who's going to fill that void. Not just the void of like the minutes or the perimeter defense or getting out in transition, but like who fills the void of the role of being a primary offensive option to take pressure off of Cade. I did a video yesterday. Is Jalen Duran ready to be a Robin? Right? Maybe not a true co-star, but can he be that backup? Can he? Ghostkeeper was good, man. I see you in the chat. Can't wait until after All-Star break when things start coming together. Yes. Yes. I think Ivy will be back after the All-Star break for sure. Before then, much before then. But it's to say, I think his legs will be back after the All-Star break. He'll be closer to back in that rhythm. I think Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, a lot of the young guys will really use that All-Star break to really adjust and really figure themselves out. Maybe make a little, you know, a little shift change, tinker with their game a little bit over that break, which is what most people use the All-Star break for. So I do think that that will be a moment where you will see this team accelerate and take a jump based upon no one else gets injured, right? Knock on wood, because injuries happen. All that's to say is I think currently this team is still holding the absence of Jaden Ivey as a huge question mark. Big old question mark. Huge question mark. Who's going to fill that void? Is it going to be by committee? Hoping that somewhere between Marcus Sasser, Chaz Anir, Karis LeVert, Isaiah Stewart, maybe some Bobby Clintman, Asar Duran Harris, like Robinson, like everybody's going to try to pitch in and fill it? Is that how we're going to roll? Or is there somebody who already has that role now? Are we looking to Tobias Harris and saying, yo, we need you to get us 15 to 20 every game now? We need you to be that much more offensively aggressive. I wouldn't be shocked. Second year in the system, did great last year. He knows how to play off these guys all the more. I think he makes really good decisions. He finds his mismatches, he gets to his spots. I don't think that he's someone who's going to be able to beat strong perimeter defenders, especially at that forward position. Guys like Jaden McDaniels, right? Kawhi Leonard's. I don't think he's going to be able to beat those guys consistently, but I do think that he's going to be able to consistently beat his matchup or find his mismatch and beat that matchup. Will it be enough? Now, I think that is a big question that we have to sit with. Will it be enough? What they have. Enough for what is the real question. Enough for what is the real question. Enough to overtake the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, the Orlando Magic, the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. I doubt it. Right now, I would clearly put Cleveland, New York, Atlanta, Orlando all above the Pistons. Clearly, I would say those four, top four in the East. After that, Milwaukee, Indiana, you can go into Philly looks interesting. Miami ish. I think we're better than Miami, but Khalil Ware looks real. And if Kasparis Yakushonis, if he can be a consistent floor general, who knows? Charlotte, I'm not really high on for obvious reasons, but they got us last year, remember? Are we ready to beat those teams that we should beat, that we're expected to beat? I say we're about 70% of the way there. We're about 70% that we're going to consistently be able to beat the rest. Maybe not those top four teams. Atlanta, Boston, Orlando, Boston, Atlanta, New York, Cleveland. That's really five. It's really five. Outside of those five, can we beat the rest consistently? Consistently enough to maintain pace until Ivy gets back, or until we make a move, or until somebody ascends. I think we're going to tread water, if I'm honest. In most of those other games, we will have the best player on the court. But are we going to wear him out before we even get a chance to close the game? Because if we saw last season, that's exactly what happened. We wore Cade out many times early in the season. And by the time it came time to close, he was exhausted. He didn't have the legs. His shot was short, didn't have that bounce, that pop, couldn't close. Not because of his talent, but because we asked him to do so much. Now, I know some of y'all in the chat, too bad we don't have Dennis Schroeder. I mean, cool. If we could be Nostradamus way back when and be like, oh, Jaden Ivey, his knee is going to be hurting at preseason, so we should probably keep Dennis Schroeder. Sure. We had no idea. And Dennis Schroeder had no intention of being a backup to Ivy and Cade. That was not his long-term outlook. He wanted to be a starting point guard. And he deserves to be. You know? Definitely appreciate that, Ghost. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely smash the like button for him. It's a little thing, but it's a big thing. Let me just say this. I think right now where the Detroit Pistons are is that they are a middle of the pack playoff team. Outside of those top five, right? Atlanta, Orlando, Cleveland. I would include Boston. And who's New York. I would include Boston. And the reason why I include Boston is because they know who they are. They know their system. They know their roles. They know they revolve around Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, who was Eastern Conference Playoff MVP and NBA Finals MVP. That guy, Yeah, he's proven he could carry a team. And I think he's going to prove it all the more with Tatum out. And he has the right accompaniment of support. Derek White, Anthony Simons, Peyton Pritchard. I like Josh Minot over there. I think Xavier Tillman, and a few other of their bigs. I even like Chris Boucher. I think he's going to be nice for them. They're going to have guys fill in roles, and they're going to look good. I think they're going to stay in the playoff hunt unless any injuries happen. So I would put those 5 teams above Detroit right now. Milwaukee's going to be tough. Indiana's going to be tough. Philly is going to be tough. Embiid looks right. He looks like he does in the regular season. Right? When he plays and he's healthy, he's absolutely dominant. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, they look like an exciting, explosive backcourt for the future. You like, we can go to, like I already said about the Miami Heat. Got Bam Adebayo. I like Khalil Ware. Imagine if they ever figure out how to put those two together, right? Nikola Jovic is still there. They got Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, Norman Powell. They got plenty of firepower. I don't know if they have a table setter yet. Who knows, right? But they still got pieces. They still got Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the NBA. So when I look at the league across the plane, especially for the Eastern Conference, when I get to the West, it gets even tougher. OKC Houston is tonight. The Clippers, the Lakers, the Warriors, right? You got San Antonio looks crazy. Yo, last year's Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. Still haven't seen De'Aaron Fox yet, but they got Dylan Harper who looks ready. Devin Vassell, right? Victor freaking Wembanyama. Still got Nikola Jokic in Denver. Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Yo, folks is squadded up. Memphis got Jaren Jackson back. They're going to get Ja back soon enough, right? They look squadded up out there in the West. It's going to be a fight. And I think the Pistons are ready for a fight because they have the identity, they have the culture, they have the reinforcers with Isaiah Stewart to fight. The real question is, can they generate enough offense against other good to great defenses? Can they keep pace offensively? And I think that is going to be a major challenge. JB Bickerstaff, I do think he can create the offensive system, but it's still predicated upon guys really being bought in. Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. came in hot, really for the full season. They were torching. Remember, Malik Beasley almost walked away with the 3-point crown for the season, right? If Anthony Edwards didn't get him at the very end. Made the most threes in the NBA. Can Duncan Robinson get close to that? How much do I think Bobby Clement can contribute? I think he can contribute a lot, if I'm honest. I think he's one of those quiet, talented guys who just fits really well, plays with a high IQ, does the right things, and can fit. Now, he does have to get a little bit more aware on the defensive end, but offensively, how he moves without the ball and his ability to get his shot off and get out in transition, maybe straight line drives, does a good enough job on the boards. Like I said, I see a lot of Cam Johnson in him. In fact, I think he's available for an extension after this season. If we extend him, we can get him on like a $6 to $10 to $12 million a year range. He could be a steal in a few years. But I'm going to get into him more later. I think this season, the Detroit Pistons, a lot will be predicated upon how these veterans look. Duncan Robinson, he's got to wake up. I need to see that pop. I need to see him moving, cutting hard, coming off those screens, aggressively looking for his shot, knocking them down. I don't want to see them air balls like I did in preseason. I need to see him knocking down shots. I need to see him making quick decisions. And I know it's a big adjustment leaving Miami, Eric Spoelstra, the system you're accustomed to that you've been in your entire career. And then all of a sudden you're in a new system, new players around you. You got Cade Cunningham, right? Playing like playoff Jimmy every day, right? So it is an adjustment that Duncan Robinson is making. but I still need to see him ready. Malik Beasley, okay, a little bit easier for him to make that adjustment. He's been a journeyman. He's used to changing systems and changing spaces. Okay, I get it. But excuses, everybody's got them. It's the NBA. You got to put up or shut up. Knock down shots, Duncan. Karras, get springy. I don't know how else to put it. You out there, you look like you're dragging, bro. You look like you're dragging, right? You look like you're dragging. If you're Kyle Anderson, I would just be like, oh, okay, you're slow-mo. That's your nickname. That ain't your nickname, Karras. You're supposed to be a bucket. I need to see that pop. I need to see you moving, right? It's time to compete. Season is here. Put up or shut up. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Where do you think the Pistons are at for this season? Kicking off tomorrow for us, but today for the league. How do you think that they're going to fare? They got the Chicago Bulls tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, seeing how they play. I think they're going to come away with a dub tomorrow. But there's a whole lot of competition out there. The guys are going to have to step up. Let me know in the comment section who you think is going to step up for this team. Who do you think fills that void by Jaden Ivey? What do you think the scheme looks like even for JB Bickerstaff? Get at me in the comment section. I'm going to get back at y'all there. Remember, take care of yourself today. Shit happens every day. Don't lose sight of your goals. Make sure you take care of yourself along the way. And remember, for a lot of us, we've been here before. We've gone through stuff before. And we're still here. So don't let it consume your whole day. Enjoy your life. Live, laugh, love, and be well. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.